Hare Krishna. So today reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1, text 1. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava mamaka pandavachaiva kim akruvata sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of the Gita. There it says that one should read a Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretations, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. One will find in the Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gita. It is the perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay as described in the Mahabharata form the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which was a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. The word Dharmakshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is insignificant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. Because the battle was arranged for be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven, Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place of the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjay was a student of Vyasa, and therefore by the mercy of Vyasadeva, Sanjay was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from their family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews. The sons of Pandu, as in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, so it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious fields of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son Duryodhana and others would be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthir Maharaj would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra, apart from their historical and Vedic importance. Sanjay uvacha dristava tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyamupasangamaya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in the military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Purport. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of his spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjay could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjay wanted therefore to encourage the despondent king and thus assure him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjay therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician, but Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangements of the Pandavas. Pasaitam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupad Putrena Tavasishyena Dhimataham. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Draupad, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Draupad performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew perfectly well, and yet as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all military secrets when the son of Draupad, Dhristadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Dhristadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx. After having learned the art from Dronacharya, Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in the battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna, especially, was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Atra sura mahesasa bhimarjuna sama yudhi yudhano viratascha drupadascha maharatha. Translation. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudhana, Virata and Drupad. Purport. Even though Dhristadyumna was not very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared to others with them. Drista Ketus Chekitana Kasirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Sabhyascha Nara Pungavaha. Translation. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kasiraj, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja and Saibhya. Yudha Manyuscha Vikranta Uttamanajus Cha Viryavan Sobhadra Draupadayascha Sarvaiva Maharatam. They are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamanuja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. all these warriors are great chariot fighters. Asmakam tu visistaye tan nibhoda dvijotama niyaka mama sanyasya samyartham tan bravitame. But for information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Bhavas Bhismascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jana Jaya Aswathama Vikarnascha Somadhatis Tathaivacha. Translation. Their personalities like you, Bhisma, Karna, Kripa, Aswathama, Vikarna, and the sons of Somadatta called Burisarava, who are always victorious in battle. Purport. Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom were ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, Aswathama is the son of Dronacharya, and Somodhatti or Burisarav is the son of king of the Bahalikas. Karna is the half-brother of Arjuna, and he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. Annecha bhavasura madarthe tyakta jivata nana sastra paraharana sarve yudhi visaradam. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. As far as others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Salya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battlefield of Kurukshetra for joining the party of sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above-mentioned combined strength of his friends. Aparyaptam tad asmakam balam bhisma viraksitam paryaptam tu idam etasam balam bhima viraksitam. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhisma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas carefully protected by Bhima is limited. Herein, as estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana, he thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general grandfather Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of the Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general, Bhima, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. Anyasu cha sarvesu yatha bhagam avastitha bhismam eva viraksantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. Translation. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Duryodhana, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important, so in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhismadeva was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhismadeva. He was confident of the full support of Bhismadeva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word. when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up, as they had done during the gambling performances. Tasya sanjanayam harsam kuruvardha pitamaha simhanadam vinadayochaihi sankham dadmau pratapavam. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana a joy. A grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion, indirectly by the symbolism of the conch shell. He informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle, because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. Tatha sankascha bhairyascha panavanaka gomukha sahasaiva bhaya anayanta sa sabdas tumulo abhavat. After that, the consuls, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Tatha swater hayer yukte mahati sayan dhane isthatau madhava pandavas chaiva divyo sankha pradadmatahu. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. In contrast with the conch shell blown by Bhishma Deva, the conch shells in the hands of Krishna and Arjuna are described as transcendental. The sounding of the transcendental conch shells indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side, because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesam Pakse Janardanaha. Victory is always with the persons like the sons of Pandu, because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And whenever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there, because the goddess of fortune never leaves alone without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu, O Lord Krishna. Besides that, the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna, and this indicated that this chariot was capable of conquering all sides wherever it was drawn over the three walls. Panchajanyam Rishikeso Devadattam Dhanam Jaya Pondram Dadmau Mahasankham Bhimakarma Vikodaraham. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya, Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and a performer of Hercule tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra. Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesh in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The impersonalists cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless or impersonal. The Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses, but he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. And in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesh, the Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudan because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. His name is Vasudeva, because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandan, because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Yashoda Nandan, because he awarded his childhood pastimes to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Partha Sarathi, because he walked as charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesh, because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Vrikodara because he could eat as voraciously as he could perform Hercule tasks, such as killing the demon Hidimba. So the particular types of conch shell blown by the different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they predestined to lose the battle, and that was the message announced by the sounds of the conch shells. Ananta Vajayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosa Manipuspako Kasyascha Parames Asa Sikhandicha Maharatha Dristadumna Viratascha Satyakischa Parajitaha Dropado Dropadescha Sarvasaha Prithvi Pate Sopadrascha Mahabahu Sankham Dadmo Prithak Prithak. King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell. The Ananta Vijaya and Nakula and Sahadev blew the Sughos and Manipuspaka. The great Aka, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Shikandi, Dristadumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Draupad, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. Sanjay informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. The signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle, beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to the grandsons like Abhimanyu and others, including kings from many states of the world. All were present there, and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.